Okay, good afternoon. I'd like to first start off with our thoughts and our prayers go out to the family of Ben Flick and the entire University of Cincinnati football family, the University of Cincinnati community. Also in our thoughts and our prayers for a speedy recovery is Javon Harrison and Mark Barr. Just it's events like this that I think put things into perspective. So I want them to know that we're thinking about them. Also, our VFL Dan Williams, whom lost his father in a tragic car accident on his way to the game. And I want them to know that they're being thought of here in Knoxville. So moving forward, Nate Peterman underwent surgery today on his hand. No timetable has been set yet for his return. So I'll know a little bit more probably later this week. So that's the status of Nate. And I think everything, we talk about in our football program is creating a standard of performance. And that standard of performance is in our values. It's in our beliefs. It's in that, the score will take care of itself if you take care of the small details. And the small details add up to the big details. And last Saturday, we didn't take care of the small details and the big details. You can't win football games when you turn the football over. We had 6 turnovers. We spoke about one of the keys to the game was third down conversions, getting off the field defensively, then offensively not relying on third down conversions and explosive plays. The other thing I didn't think we managed the critical situations or the critical downs, critical stages of the game. A lot of times a game can be shaped, whether you win or lose, by 2 to 3 games, and I didn't think, we really managed those situations particularly well, and you never know which 2 to 3 plays are going to make the difference in the football game. Moving forward, we'll find out a lot more about our football team. Our competitive character, our leadership, this senior class, and the way we approach this week, our preparation, controlling what we can control, and getting ready for a very good South Alabama football team. And I think, everything is how we respond, and, I meant it. For the first time, I really felt remorse in the locker room. I felt that our players laid it on the line. They were visibly upset. And when you invest more, you put more into it, and it's direct correlation to your commitment level. And so now it's how do we respond? There's a lot of football left to be played, and, we shouldn't even be up here talking about this, how we respond. But I think that's part of the evolution and the growing stages that we're going through with this football team, is I'm understanding that we live in a week-to-week world. We live in a week-to-week society. You're judged on your results 1 week at a time. And you have to continue to grow and get better, and that's what we're looking forward to. We're going to need everyone's support Saturday afternoon in Neyland. It starts with our great fan base, proving that we are united, that we stay together, and also our student body. I have to do a much better job as the head football coach of the University of Tennessee of getting our student body involved. We should sell out our student body tickets every single home game. That is the expectation, that we have, and it's up to me. And I'll do anything and everything for our student body, and we need them. We're all one Tennessee coming together. So you have South Alabama coming in here not feeling sorry for us. They had a bye week. They have an extra week of preparation. Defensively, athletic, physical, very, very aggressive, bring a lot of pressure, and they play very, very good team defense. Very well-coached football team, with their discipline, their fundamentals. Coach Jones has done a great job there. And then offensively, 2 very, very skilled quarterbacks. They like to run the quarterback. They have a good up-tempo in their offense, and they try to get the ball on the edges. They do a great job with their play calling of screens and running the ball at you and deep play action balls when you're coming up. And so we have to do a great job, and we have to be ready for anything and everything come Saturday. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
Does that mean Justin Worley will be the starter on Saturday?
As of right now, Justin Worley is the starter, yes.
Coach, how much, with Riley and Josh, how much more reps do they take in practice? How much more reps do you guys normally give the backup as opposed
Right.
to?
Well, the way we do things, usually our number 2 quarterback gets equal amount of reps, as our number 1. And a lot of people say, well, how can you have that much time? But, it's pretty much the same. It may be a difference of 5 or 6 snaps in practice, but, both freshman quarterbacks will get ample amount of repetitions, and we have to do a great job of getting them ready to play mentally and then physically as well.
Are those 2 guys still kind of, is it between them for the number 2, or do you settle on?
No, it's, just like anything in our program, they're going to have to earn their spot.
Butch, what do you need to see from the 2 freshmen to find a comfort level with you and Michael Jake, and that if they are called upon, that they're ready to play? What do you need to see out of them this week?
I think a confidence level, the ability to manage our offense, that leadership aspect, that command presence, that alpha male. We'll try to simulate as many game-like conditions as possible, but as we all know, you can't simulate it until there's people in the stands and it's for real. But, the one who makes the least mistakes, the one who doesn't take chances with the football, who understands what we're doing, the power of why, why are we trying to do this, and, the ability to take care of the football, which, we did not do a good job against Florida, and you cannot turn the football over. That's in our plan to win, and when you execute it, you got a chance to be in every game. But when you turn the football over, you're not giving yourself an opportunity.
You said there's no timetable with Peterman, but is it safe to say he's not playing this week?
Oh yeah, it'll at least be 4 weeks, So yeah, that in terms of he will not play this week.
And it's the right hand? Or?
Yes.
Coach, how would you assess the play of the offensive line so far?
They've been challenged because they've played 2 of the better defensive lines in the country with Oregon and Florida, and they're disruptive. And we still have to get more physical. I said it when I came in here and watched film, and I've challenged them, and they're very prideful. But it's a pad level, it's finishing plays, and I think everyone thinks that our line should just dominate their opponent on every single play, and if it's a 4-yard gain, it's not a good yard gain. 4-yard gains are good, and we're playing talented defensive fronts. So I thought we took some strides moving forward. I thought we protected the passer much better in the second half. But I need more in terms of a level of physicality and finishing plays. And they understand that, and they know that, and we're continue to work on that. And the hardest thing, to teach with an offensive lineman is your pad level. And playing with a low center of gravity, a low pad level is a direct byproduct of playing physical. So we're working on that each and every day.
Coach, I'm staying on the offensive line. How much are they hamstrung by the inability to create the big plays down the field? And what's the preponderance of safeties in the box you're seeing?
What word did you use?
You've seen the safeties in the box a lot.
I was going to ask you to spell it, but the big plays is hurting everyone. The minus the big plays. It's everyone wants to point towards the offensive line, but it's our entire offense. When you don't have big explosive plays, you can't be perfect. I say it week in and week out in the world of college football. You need big chunk plays. We need somebody to turn a 5-yard hitch into a 35-yard gain, and that helps the quarterbacks as well. So again, you're exactly right. What's happening now is our body of work is on video, and so everyone now has 4 games on us. And if you have to prove that you can beat man coverage, or you're going to keep seeing it. We live in a copycat type deal where coaches are going to follow game plans of other opponents that have had success. That's the way football works. So you have to be able to prove that you can beat certain things. And we just, again, explosive plays, trying to manufacture explosive plays, that's critical as we continue to evolve. But that's hurting us right now on offense.
Are you any closer to finding or feeling like you've got some guys that can turn a 5-yard hitch into a 35-yard gain? Do you see that development, or what do you got to find your offense?
I do see that development. Having Alton Howard back was a big boost for us this past Saturday. But again, now Alton needs to understand the small details, the work that it goes into in preparation throughout the course of the week, from the mental standpoint, the physical standpoint, but also taking care of your body to be able to perform at a high level, on Saturdays, and that's that standard of performance. And, his role will increase as he proves that he's capable of handling that role. And we spoke about it yesterday with him. But, Marquez North will get better. He's a true freshman. Josh Smith will get better. Jason Kroom is starting to do some good things for us. But, again, it's that consistency and performance that I think we're lacking right now as an offense. And, it's a group identity. It's not just the offensive line or the quarterbacks or the wide receivers. It's an entire body of work by the offense. And I just think a high level of consistency, being able to run the ball efficiently every time we run the football. Not having a -1 yard gain, then a 5-yard gain. Hey, we want 4 yards. Get 4 yards, then the yardage will come. It's our running backs with the ability to make individuals miss in space, finishing runs, and then playing, with an up-tempo. We have to play faster as well. So it's everything that's work in progress right now offensively.
But do you have to rebuild Worley's confidence after losing his starting position?
No, he understands. I thought he took some strides moving forward in the second half. There was one play in particular he has to learn from and never, ever make that mistake again. And our quarterbacks can't make catastrophic mistakes. They have to eliminate the catastrophic plays. And the one where he flushed the pocket and he's trying to throw the ball out of bounds and he doesn't do it and they make a play on it and it's interception. Throw the ball away, leave no doubt. And then, again, I said it after the game, is sometimes punt's the only play. Let's get to 4th down and play field position. So those are all things that, we'll continue to strive and work. But I did think that he took some steps moving forward Saturday.
Do you think he responded the way you would like after having to come into the game?
I did. There's a lot on that young man's plate. And, again, I think we forget that these are still 17 to 22-year-old student athletes. These aren't professional football players. And I think we get caught up in all that. They have families, they have friends, they have people that are there at the games, and they're very prideful individuals. But, you look at Justin, the setback of, when you're a competitor, it hurts when you're not the starter. But the way he managed his business, and when he got his opportunity, he didn't feel sorry for himself. And he went in there and he was leading. If you noticed in the huddle, when he wasn't in, he was still leading. And those are all the other things that I looked for in the quarterback intangibles, and I was very pleased with that aspect.
Butch, how is Brian Randolph playing? Is he affected at all still by coming back from the knee?
You know what? I haven't seen really much effects with the knee. Brian Randolph is an individual, when we talk about consistency and performance, you know what you're getting with Brian every day. You know what he's selling. You know what he's bringing to the table. And the thing I like is I think you're starting to see a little more passion, a little more energy, a little more confidence in the way his demeanor is, his body language on the field. And I've been really, really pleased with the way he's playing right now.
With him, I think he had 11 tackles on Saturday. He was in the backfield quite a bit. But he had the one play where he kind of took a bad angle on their long touchdown. Is he kind of the guy that will maybe beat himself up over that one play instead of focusing on some of the good that he did?
Yeah, he's an individual which you want him to. He internalizes everything, and if you're a competitor, you relive every single play in your mind. But we also have what's called, when you're playing the game, a snap and clear mentality. You can't let that play beat you the next play. You have to line up, you have to play the snap and clear it from your mind. And then you go back, once the game is over with, and you relive those moments and improvements and angles to the football. But, quite simply, great defenses play great team defense. Our nickel, Justin did a great job of coming up and setting the point, turning the ball in. Our nickel just has to run his feet and make the play, and he falls down. And then Brian takes not the proper angle, and the guy runs by him. And that's all part of the evolution of greatness, is understanding the why and executing. It's a game of inches, and we always say inches make the champion, and it is a game of inches. The way you run to the football, your angles, your hips, you all have an angle in the hip of the defender or the runner, and so you have all those things that you practice every day in practice, and you coach it. But when it comes in real live game situations, you have to take advantage of your teaching that you've practiced throughout the course of the week.
Butch, in reference tempo a moment
Saturday. How close are you to playing at the tempo you want? What's the next step?
We're not close, but a lot of those 2 are 3 and outs, and you can't have 3 and outs, and again, I thought we put our defense, in some really negative situations and field position wise, and we can't have 3 and outs, and I think that's a byproduct of playing fast in big plays on offense, which we just spoke about. But you can't have 3 and outs, and that's going to be a focus this week.
Is it something different consistently, or is there one area that's slowing?
It's something different. Again, it's that consistency in performance. It's a drop ball. It's an inaccurate ball. It's a missed run read. It's a not finishing the play. And that's, again, I said it last week here, is football is the greatest team sport, and if it's 1 out of 11. If 1 out of 11 doesn't do their job, you're not going to be successful. And, and we'll continue to work exceptionally hard on that.
But do you think that Majid will play this Saturday?
I don't think so. No. I think, Kurt is going to be week to week on how he progresses, and he's coming off of 2 surgeries, and, he's really trying. He's still out there. But right now, I don't want to come in here and lead everyone on. And every week I tell you, I think he's ready. I'd rather expect the worst, and if it happens, it happens. But right now, I would not count on him playing.
Are you considering redshirting him then?
We'll see where we're at in the season. If the season continues to progress, and, a lot of it will be dictated upon his wishes and his family's wishes as well.
Butch, you guys played, I think, 14 true for redshirt freshmen. Is that average for a program, or is that more than you want to play once you get down the line?
As we continue to move forward, in this program, I don't think it's much so the freshmen or true or redshirt freshmen that are playing. It's the roles that they have in your program. A lot of those freshmen and redshirt freshmen have dominant roles. They're starters, and the one thing you can't put a price tag on is experience. We should get to a point at the University of Tennessee where we're bringing in the best of the best in recruiting classes and student athletes. And when you bring in and you attract the highest caliber student athlete in the country to come to Tennessee, naturally they're going to play as true freshmen. But I think it's their roles, and each year is different. Each position group is different. But, right now I would probably say we have too many freshmen in expanded roles. Right now, everything is about gaining confidence. And a lot of times you may ease a true freshman into playing on 1 or 2 special teams, and you can take your time and you can develop them. And maybe they're ready by week 6, week 7. Now they're ready. They have that confidence. They have that development where, we haven't been afforded that luxury. It is what it is. They have to step in and they have to play. And then it's a whole balancing act, because now you have to make sure that you don't set back their development process for year 2, year 3, year 4. What does that mean? The guys that are redshirting right now, or that we're intending on redshirting, they're going through a different lift cycle. They're going through developmental lifts. So they're on a completely different development routine than our travel team. And those are all things that, I've been in situations where we have to, so you have to do your due diligence in the development of your players.
Is Jalen Reeves-Maybin kind of a poster boy for what you want? That,
yeah.
Look, you had to switch him from safety to linebacker. Now he's made some plays on special teams. You're able to kind of maybe take your time a little bit with
We are, and we did not want to rush Jalen. He's coming off the shoulder surgery, and I tell you what, I thought, and one of the positives, I thought Jalen stepped up and really did some good things for us on special teams Saturday. I really liked his intensity. I liked what he brought to the table.
Can you talk about balancing the young secondary, Foreman and Swafford and Cam Sutton, and their ability to make big plays but also make those freshman mistakes? Right.
Well, they're learning under fire. We don't have anyone else. So they have to go. And I think, Willie Martinez has done a great job of really trying to force feed them, and the fundamentals and the small details that it takes to play defensive back at a high level. And I think what you see is a group that's continuing to get better. Will we be challenged this week? Yes, we'll be challenged. They'll be challenged each and every week. But, some individuals are progressing at a more rapid pace than some of the other ones, but as a group, I think they're continuing to get better.
Coach Jones, how do you deal with outspoken family members of players on the team who are publicly calling for more playing time?
You know, that's something that, you know, I'll address with them, and I think it's, you know, we continue to educate our players and our families, and we've only been here for a short period of time, but, you know, let's just say that's part of our Vol for Life program, and that's work in progress, and I'll handle that.
Coach, you've worked hard to put this program.
You always ask the difficult questions.
Here comes another one. You've worked hard to put this program and university in a good light. What was your reaction to Arian Foster's comments, and how does that affect the relationship with him moving forward?
Sure. Well, you know, Arian's an individual at a, you know, very small period of time that I've gotten to know, and we have not spoken yet, and all I can speak of is our current situation. And, you know, we have an administration, you know, we have a complete athletic department that's totally aligned in our philosophies and our beliefs and our education of the student athlete. And we spend an inordinate amount of time with the education process of our football players and the do's and the don'ts. We have a compliant, full-time compliance officer. I think we're one of the very few schools in the country that we actually have a compliance officer right in our football offices in our building, who's a tremendous resource for us. But, you know, we have weekly education sessions with our players. So, you know, that's part of our program moving forward since we've walked in the door. I know since Dave Hart has been the athletic director here, that has been at the forefront of not just football but our entire athletic department.
Butch, when you were recruiting Swafford or talking to him during the recruiting process, did you get to know him through Malik Foreman, or how did that come about? And did you ever envision a scenario where he's playing 50 snaps a game in week 4 against Florida?
Well, you know, Devon's a great story, and, you know, again, he's a walk-on who's done a tremendous job. And when we were, you know, evaluating Malik Foreman, there was another individual who kept making plays on the film. And, you know, so we kept, you know, asking about him. And, you know, part of being a successful football program at this level is having a very successful walk-on program. And, you know, with the limitations in scholarships, you know, you need walk-ons to have roles in your program. And, you know, he's an individual who's doing a tremendous job for us. He's learning, again, under fire, you know, the good, the bad, but he's extremely competitive. He takes coaching, and he's very athletic. And, you know, as the season progresses, you know, I fully expect him to continue to progress and get better as well.
Butch, you said you wanted to do more with the student body. How do you do that, particularly during a season?
Well, it's challenging, you know, and, you know, there's some ideas that I have once the season is concluded and into spring football of really trying to build ownership with them. And also bring them in and let them see what we're doing and really involve them in our football program. But, you know, I've met with a lot of on-campus organizations and our student government. I just think it's an ongoing, you know, education in terms of, I want to say 80 to 90% of our student body are from the state of Tennessee. You know, they grew up, you know, being Vol fans, and we need to get them in the stands. You know, that's part of the educational process. That's part of our institution. You know, it's a pride of who we are, and I never want to create anything where it's the football team and the students. We are student athletes. We are part of the student body, and I'm part of them. And that's why I walk around campus. That's why I go into the bookstore. That's why, you know, I'm around. And I think they need to know that I have to be visible, and I just need to continue to tell them that they're an important part of what we're building here at Tennessee.
Butch, in that meeting with the SGA leaders, I know you mentioned that student attendance was never a problem at Cincinnati. So when you come here now at the SEC, is it a little bit disheartening to see that the empty patches in Neyland are maybe where those students should be sitting?
Well, I wouldn't say disheartening. I would say exciting, because it's getting them there. It's a challenge. It's educating them. You know, it's an opportunity, I would say. So I think, you know, it starts when an individual walks in as a freshman, you know, and really educating them on, hey, you know, there's only one Tennessee. Neyland Stadium is very, very special. And them knowing that we need them, that they're a part of us, that they can directly influence and impact a game, you know. And so I think the big thing is knowing that they're wanted and they're needed. And they're wanted and they're needed.
But you mentioned a couple of times Hunt's a good play. that punts a good play. Where's the balance in trying to create the splash plays, but being conservative and not making a mistake on offense to put your defense in a bad situation?
Well, I just think it's choices. It's the decision-making process with the football. You know, I don't ever think of taking chances. You know, it's a confidence level. You know, I'll give you an example. Is, you know, Alton Howard made a great play in the game on Saturday. He made a great choice with the football. It was supposed to be a double reverse. You know, and we have a double reverse coming, and there's penetration, and instead of flipping it to the guy running around, he gets the ball and he gets north and south and he gains 9 yards. You know, instead of being reckless or careless with the football, he made a great choice, and we try to, you know, even when we practice that in practice, we try to create those type of situations, but I think it's confidence in taking care of the football, and when you prove that you can take care of the football, we'll call more of those plays because we have confidence in it.
Butch, with what you got from Vereen and saying that you don't expect him to get to play this week, what you see out of Corey on tape, and what's the next step for him, and how much do you need him as you go on without him?
Well, you know, Corey had 7 snaps on Saturday, and they were a very productive 7 snaps. And just having him back on the field gave us another edge presence. You could see the difference in the get off. You know, he impacted the quarterback on a number of plays, you know. So we anticipate, obviously, with his health, you know, he'll play more plays this Saturday as he continues to progress. But just his whole mindset is what we want here. You know, his preparation, you know, the kids laugh. He stretches for an hour a day. And you know, all you have to do is tell him one thing. If I tell him, hey, hydrate, here's a gallon of water, he'll go drink 2 gallons of water. He is hungry for greatness. You know, he has that inner drive that the special players have. You know, he's always, you know, in watching extra film. I mean, there's a couple days I'm going home and I look out in the indoor and there's a guy running sprints and it's Corey Vereen. You know, it's important to him. And he's a good student. You know, he does everything that we ask of him. So I'm excited, you know, and again, it's a compliment to our training staff, to our doctors, and to him that he's back at this point in time, you know, with going through knee surgery. And again, that's his work ethic, that's his mentality.
You said Saturday that he's a guy that you want to recruit more people like him, that you want to build a program around him. Even though he's just a freshman, can he already be an example for this team?
Absolutely. You know, our kids, when I walk in the locker room and they're talking about how much Vereen stretches, you know, everything in our program is about flexibility. You know, so just by them talking about it, he's making an impact.
Coach, can you just the defensive line as a whole? It looks like, I mean, no sacks in Florida, but it looked like you affected the quarterback, especially in a couple of interceptions. You talk about how that's progressing in Marlon Walls.
Right. You know, I'm glad you brought Marlon Walls up because I thought he had one of his best performances. You know, Marlon again has been a great leader. It's important to him, and I thought he played his best football at Florida, and we're going to need him, obviously, as we continue to progress here. But, you know, still work in progress. You know, it's still, we need to do a much better job of using our hands, you know, running our feet. We use a term called the junction point. And really the junction point is your block destruction, you know, getting off blocks. You know, we have to do a much better job that way. But I did think that we were able to apply pressure. I thought there was numerous times that we impacted the quarterback. And I thought that, you know, we did take some steps positively in moving forward.
Going into the Florida game, it looked like, I think, Ferguson traveled and Dobbs stayed home. What went into that decision, and is that an indication that Ferguson's a little ahead of this point?
Absolutely no indication of who's ahead of each other. You know, it's one of those extremely challenging and difficult situations you have to make as a coaching staff. There's travel limitations within the SEC, and so you can only take a certain amount of players on the road. And because we felt we needed more help in different areas and on special teams, you know, we only had the luxury of traveling 3 quarterbacks. And it is zero indication of who's ahead of each other. You know, it just came down to a decision, and we made it and moving forward.
What's on the play where the offensive line thought they jumped off sides and they didn't, and you got the pass interference? How many times has that happened in the past? I know you guys teach them to not move. How many times has that happened in the past where, you know, that move kind of backfired like that, and you revisit teaching them to not move?
You know, we have to do, again, when we talk about big splash plays and we talk about running the offense, we also have to do a better job of controlling the cadence. You know, cadence is so critical, especially with the defensive fronts that we play. And that's one of the small tools or areas that we feel we can control the cadence. But, you know, it's a decision-making process, and it's one of those, you know, it was real close, you know, and that play has been effective for us. And, again, it's providing the offensive line relief, you know, and even though it was a negative play, I think it still helped us in a positive regards moving forward throughout the course of the game, just because of the difference in tempos and cadences.
Nate, at what point did he get hurt, and was that the reason you
Yeah.
removed him?
You know, we can't pinpoint the exact time when he hurt his hand, and he couldn't tell us. You know, when you're playing in a game and, you know, you're filled with emotion and adrenaline, you know, and you have that going through, and so your body operates differently, and so we don't know when it occurred in the game.
So that wasn't what caused it?
No.
But you played arguably the top offense and defense in the country now. How much more do you know about your football team and your players and their mental strength and toughness than you did 3 weeks ago?
Well, I know a lot more, you know, than I did 3 weeks ago, but it's still ongoing. I still think we're in the process of building our identity, you know, and this week will tell me a lot, you know, and I've challenged them, and it's all about leadership. You know, I said last week, you know, after the Oregon game, that we had to be a much more mentally tougher football team. I thought we took strides in that area. Are we where we need to be? No. We're not anywhere close to where we need to be from a physicality standpoint or a mental toughness standpoint. You know, our teams in the past, you know, that's one of the things, if you watched our teams play, that stuck out. We're in the process of building that. Sometimes that takes a lot of time because you're dealing with human nature. You know, you're dealing with a mentality aspect. But our kids have bought into that. Our kids are starting to speak our language. They're starting to see it more. They're starting to demand more from themselves when they see their body of work on the video. But we have a long ways to go in that area. But it's evolving, and it is progressing. And I did think we took a step in the right direction positively Saturday afternoon against Florida. Now, let's see. Let's see how much we progress now this week heading into South Alabama and on Saturday. And that's going to be my challenge to this football team.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.